Peace family. So I'm back with another one. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about you wanting to be understood. You know what I'm saying? You wanting to be understood. And I feel like a lot of us get to this space like where we already knew we wanted to be understood, even from, you know, young childhood, growing up, just from not having the normal basic emotional needs met the way that they supposed to be met. You know what I'm saying? Outside of if you got all the material shit in the world, you know what I'm saying? You could have 20 Barbie dolls, you know what I'm saying? You could have fucking 15 race car tracks, but that don't mean that your parents and the people, the ones that's raising you, the entities around you, that don't mean that they understand you. You know what I'm saying? And as we get older, and I know as I got older, it started to make more sense to me that I wasn't being understood. But I remember one situation when I had to meet my BM. This was like right when all our courtship was going on. That shit's been out the way for years now, but when it all was going on, it was kind of like I had asked my mom to come ride with me to the park to meet my BM, and she had her dad there. And I remember my mom like just taking over the whole conversation out there and everything, and directing all these points. But I remember as she was making these points, she would say something about my BM, but then she would also make sure she made the statement that oh yeah, Christopher isn't perfect either, or just always insinuated something similar like that. And then as we got done talking and we made our way back to the car or whatever, I kind of tell her like I was glad that she had spoke up for some certain things, and at the time I was thinking like, okay, maybe that'll help her understand and see what's been going on, and I have really been trying and putting in a lot of work or whatever. And it was even a couple days after that, or maybe like went somewhere after that to grab something, and it was like she had made a statement like, she said, I know you my son, I knew we just alike, or saying something because of the way our conversation was flowing. And when I was receiving that information, it was making me feel like she want me to feel like she understands me. That's what she want me to feel like she understands me. But that's not how I perceive the overall picture. So when we are growing and moving through these spaces, right, and we wanting to be understood, most humans are, we do things to be relatable, you know, to other human beings. It's part of our nature. It's part of being in these vessels, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you see ants, they all vibe together. It's not like, oh, they're doing something special. That's just how they are structured. It's just like us, except we are more highly intelligent. I feel like the human species, I feel like is like a combination of all of the universe. You think about it, every insect, bug, mammal, animal, you want to name it, call it, we can damn near mimic, or we have some kind of quality or trait of it. Besides the flying, you know, which is the obvious. But outside of the flying, we got, you know, we go a lot deeper, and we also can affect the atmosphere. So we don't really need the wings when we can make them. But outside of that, if just thinking of the social constructs of the other animals and insects. So it's like, I was talking to somebody earlier, and I was just telling them like, because I was just like in a little frustrated space, even though I've been making a whole lot more adjustments to everything. Like I got my website reback on the way. Wasn't gonna talk about it, but it'll just be up, you know what I'm saying, shortly. And it was like Wednesdays is like my rougher days between me and my mini, because we both kind of know that we about to separate Thursday. But for some reason this week was just like a little weird, because she came back, she wasn't feeling good, and then I took that shit from her and put it in me, so then I wasn't feeling that good. Then I started getting my energy back, but then it was like it was the end of our week. So now we're sitting here with this energy that I don't even know what you want to call it. It's just like, it's kind of like sad, happy mush energy, you know what I'm saying? It's not like angry, frustrating energy. But it had made me realize, right? Because my daughter had been doing a lot of things that I knew was oppositional, because my daughter is really fucking intelligent. I spend a lot of time with her, and even the time that I don't spend with her, I know she's taking in the information because she's using it when she's not with me. But I also know that it's a war going on, and I know that whole fucking other household is all demonic witches in that motherfucker, from the weird ass dad not having to fucking wear his wedding rings and maneuver around and doing whatever, to the fucking brothers and the fucking dumbass daughter that I was fucking with, that I signed up for, alright? You can sign up and make dumb decisions and learn from them, okay? That doesn't make you a dumb being or individual. They also use a lot of manipulation, so it wasn't like it was something organic flow up front, right? But anyways, all of these things have been transpiring without the week, and I was realizing, like, the opposition is using my daughter as a tool right now, because I deal with a lot of adults and grown-up beings who are not very good at communicating. They suck. I don't even know if they're trying to get better at communicating, but it's really shitty, witchy communication. But my daughter was doing the one thing that I be telling all the other ones who come in my space, do not do. Don't be in my space being silent. If I'm talking to you, respond to me. Simple. I got every piece of this from my daughter. And it was like, I couldn't think nothing else to myself, but like, I know this is a war right now. Like, I just had a whole bunch of things flowing. I took this shit from her. It was a bunch of things trying to shift my energy, and it wasn't shifting my energy. And I was just like, I'm not gonna put all the pressure on her, because I know her vessel is being used right now. But there has to be some kind of disciplinary in place, so that way you understand, okay, look, it's hard to break this down all the way all the time, but I break it down as much as I can. You know, when they still young and they still growing, you still teaching, they still learning. They don't fully comprehend. They do pick up shit that you don't expect them to pick up, but they don't always fully comprehend. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I realized that she's being used right now, and instead of me taking that as a battle, it made me dive deeper into the shit that I signed up for. You know what I'm saying? I moved myself from my mom's witchy ass shit, but I signed up for her witchy ass mama. So it's just like, I know that shit is always working against me, but I'm always working forward. So I don't really put a whole lot of energy into it until it fucking hits, and then I gotta look at it like, alright. But then it made me realize, like, it made me realize, like, I had never really been understood. So even trying to communicate small things out to my daughter, having that whole thing happen, and then having like some good news hit, it was like a bunch of things all at one time. And it was like, yo, it's crazy that I have a big family, but I don't have anybody that I feel wholeheartedly comfortable with communicating outward with. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna fucking care. I got some aunts that will, but I'm a male. Sometimes I want to talk to an older masculine male elder. You know what I'm saying? For the perspective. I know women operate a little bit different than men. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it made me dive back to all these spaces of just like not being understood. And it made me realize, like, I did the video on being an example. A lot of us grew up as the black sheep and getting scapegoated, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't care to understand us. And if they did understand us, they used it as some witchy ass tactics against us. You know what I'm saying? So then we find ourselves out here operating and we are engaging and not really fucking making more of our interactions of what we having with people. We should be setting the boundaries sooner and removing shit, you know what I'm saying, opposed from having, oh, I got a homeboy I know for 15 years, but then it's like, nigga, you can't even call him for a soup. You know what I'm saying? But if you need to go out to the bar or something where y'all both can get a mutual exchange off, then you can do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like we move around and we function through this world and this society not being understood, but we can blend in. You know what I'm saying? And it's like with the technology these days, like, it makes us be able to expand outside of just our physical community. Because you gotta think about it, before the technology, most people only focused on their communities. The technology made everyone start focusing on more outside of their community. One, because we already thought outside of our community anyways, and two, because we have access to do it easier now. And coming to these conclusions, just looking back at, like, my sperm donor didn't want to drive me down to Virginia when we had moved down here, because we moved down here, but then I had stayed that first summer up in the Bronx with him. But he didn't want to drive me back down here. I was 10 years old. My mom didn't want to drive up to get me, so they put me on a Greyhound bus. You know what I'm saying? I'm 10 years old on a Greyhound bus from the Bronx, New York to the middle of Virginia. You know what I'm saying? That's like 10, 13 hour ride on the bus. I'm only 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? No technology. There was no phone. There was just trusting the process. You know what I'm saying? But me also understanding and reflecting back, it's like they didn't understand me. They didn't give a fuck about understanding me. That's why they had no problem just throwing my ass on a fucking bus. They already knew that I was intelligent enough and wise enough and smart enough and agile enough to kind of manage the goddamn ride. You know, I think it was only one bus transfer, or they might have got me a ride where I didn't have to have no transfers. But either way, I couldn't imagine putting my daughter on a bus at 10 years old without a cell phone. Like, hell nah, I'ma drive you. My mom had a car and my sperm donor had a car. They both had vehicles. Nobody wanted to drive, but this was my whole process growing up, always knowing that these motherfuckers don't understand me and they don't give a fuck to understand me. You know what I'm saying? They just winging me and throwing me around like luggage. You know what I'm saying? But then once I get to this space and I have the knowledge and I do know, and I realize I don't give a fuck if y'all understand me or not. I am the example. You know what I'm saying? I am the example. As hard as this shit is, to not being able to have elders to call to talk to, and vent to sometimes, or to swap ideas, I'll be that elder. You know what I'm saying? It's always a different process when you receive information. You don't have nobody else to go out to get their perspective or their ideas. So then you go through that battle yourself of, damn, I wish I had somebody else to communicate, to talk to, or build with this about, or to ask, or just to get different ideas circulating. But then after you spend 5-10 minutes on it, you're like, shit, I'm about to go take me a ride. I'm about to go do 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go sit on this energy for a little bit. I'm gonna let it ponder around in my space, and then I'm gonna make the best decisions that I can make. And that's always been the flow. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay if they don't understand us. They ain't gotta understand us. But one thing they are gonna have to do is they gonna have to respect us. We really ain't got no choice. That's why they get the fuck away. Because if they didn't respect it, then they would stay around and they would keep beating you down regardless of how many boundaries and how much you fought back. I'm trying to tell you, they gain more respect for you the more you fight and the more you whoop their ass. The more you whoop their ass, the more they respect you. They witches is weird. I'm trying to tell you, this shit is weird. It's always the fucking opposite. Like you whooping somebody's ass, they're like, ah, yeah, yes. Like, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? Same thing with the men. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. This shit is opposite on the other end of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to run it up too long. You know what I'm saying? They don't fucking understand us, and they ain't got to, because we already lit, and we gonna keep raising this motherfucking vibration. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tap into everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.